who is the Libertarian Party nominee, although he will be on the ballot as an independent.
First of all, to all the other candidates, just peace of mind, word of mouth, and some helpful advice. When you door knock, don't pet the dog. So y'all didn't say that. My name is Joshua James. I'm on the ballot as an independent candidate for U.S. Senate. I'm running and I'm on the independents, and I wanted to point out the fact that most people in the state don't really know who all the independents are. They go to the ballot, they see a whole bunch of names, and they don't know who we all are. So let me tell you, let me inform you. I am you. I am you when you get mad at the TV and turn it off or throw the remote at it. I am you when you're driving home from work and you hear the radio show and you are upset to the point you turn off to some pop culture radio, or you just sit in silence and let road rage take over. I am you when you are reading the paper and you choose to throw it away instead of actually making it to the funny section or give your wife the coupons. I am the one who stood up first. I am frustrated at always being told, no, we've got this. Wait your turn. So I stood up to be heard. And if that's all I do, I'm going to be heard. Because I'm carrying your voice. And if you like what I say, if you appreciate what I have to offer, then I will continue to carry your voice even further. Thank you.
And as Randy explained, that the candidates had submitted subjects and topics they wanted to talk about. They put these questions in a thing, and we have picked them out, and then I'm pulling these up with the right to embellish a little bit, perhaps. Question number one on a domestic issue is on income inequality. There's a lot of talk about this these days, and one proposal for what to do about that is an increase in the federal minimum wage. I'd like you to speak to income inequality and what, if any, increase in the federal minimum wage should there be. First, Mr. Plaza.
You have 2 minutes.
No one should work full-time and have poverty wages. In Tennessee, across different states, there's different economies, so those dollar amounts will change about what that poverty wage will be. But in Tennessee, if you make the minimum wage and work full-time, you are eligible for food stamps. There is something fundamentally wrong with our system when a human can work full-time and not have the dignity to be able to feed themselves. And that is the system, the failing of our system currently. So a living wage for one adult and one child in the state of Tennessee would be $17.79 an hour. We are currently $7.25. So that's to live and live okay. If something goes wrong or you have an emergency and you're living on minimum wage, you're going to have no bit of security. To have health insurance as a single person, to have no subsidy whatsoever from the government, the minimum wage would need to be $13.17 in the state of Tennessee. So we really want you to think about that. If we want people to go to work and work for a true living, that is the wage that they need to earn to live with dignity and not be in a subservient position or at threat or have to go into debt just to survive. And then it's a spiraling effect to live in debt, and it will just snowball. And that's why we have high amounts of bankruptcies in our system. There is a way to raise taxes on the wealthiest of our society to help put money back in, but why should it be in the form of subsidies? Why shouldn't we just raise the wages so that people can live well in our society, the wealthiest country in the world? Thank you.
Mr. Paul.
No one who works should live in poverty. Since the last time that the minimum wage was increased, and it's $7.25 an hour now, since the last time the minimum wage is increased, a McDonald's hamburger has gone up 32 times. 77% of our economy is built on consumer spending. if we increase the minimum wage, those people are going to have to spend more money in our economy, thereby creating more jobs in our economy. It's the fair thing to do. Recently, I was in Cookeville, Tennessee, and someone asked a question about the Highway Trust Fund.
15 seconds.
Okay. Well, let me say this, since I only have 15 seconds. Again, Martin is right. No one who works in this country should live in poverty.
I'm seeking the office of U.S. Senate, and the Constitution does not enumerate a power to the federal government for me to set wages over corporations and state entities. If we want to talk federal minimum wage for federal jobs, you can raise it from $7.25 to $10.10 all day long. $14,000 yearly income, $20,000 yearly income, it's still poverty. When I was a child, I thought as a child. When I became a man, I acted as a man. I said $4.25 will not work for me, which is what minimum wage was when I was a child. And I got out there and I worked hard and I got calluses on my hands. And today I make $40 an hour. Not because anybody gave it to me, but because I earned it. And I'll crawl up under a house trailer and run a circuit for you, or I'll get in your attic, things that most people won't do. But when you want to make some money, you go out there and earn it. And I've got to come home to 6 kids every night, and I got to face them in the good Lord before I go to bed, and I'm going to feed them. And if Americans want a minimum wage, they need to earn it. God bless.
Okay, I've got to talk. I can go 30 minutes on this one. All right, real quick. Easiest way to do this, folks, a fair tax system. All right, we have a tax code system, 74,000 pages for this year's tax system. All right, I'll keep doing that. Keep benefiting from 74,000 pages. You know, I'm paying almost a quarter of my wages, and I unfortunately don't make as much as Danny does. I'm paying a quarter of my wages to taxes. Flat tax system. Make the top 1/2% who can utilize those 74,000 pages to skip their way out of paying taxes, all right, to pay their fair share. That would be a start to put money back in people's pockets that work for a living. Again, I go on 30 minutes about this, about how we're being slowly pushed to the feudal system, that there will be no more middle class. They'll be up here, then the rest of us here. But we'll talk. Look at my website, you'll see it. Thank you, folks.
Mr. Emerson?
As far as a minimum wage raise, I would support an $8 minimum wage. Right now, the state of Tennessee is $7.25. Now, what that's going to do is going to also improve the personal value of the employee. When they feel better about having a little bit more money, then they're going to be more productive. They're going to bring in more profit for their company. At the same time, you don't want to eliminate the possibility of the company being hurting because of the extra money, of the extra wage, because they're going to have to be paying more. At the same time, that's going to increase the tax percentage that employee is going to be hit with. But an $8 wage, I'm for that. I'll support it.
Mr. Wellbach?
Well, I guess this is one of my kind of favorite topics. I can remember when I worked for 50 cents a day, live good on a farm. I can remember when wages went up when I was working at work, when my wages went up to $1 and $1.25. But then at that time, you could go buy 2 big grocery carts full for $25 of groceries. Everybody lived good. I can remember when cars were selling at $1,900 instead of $3,000, $4,000. They really didn't start going up until the 70s, until the government got where they started building an increase every year of 10% increases. And this is what's happened to our society, and that's what's taken all of our industrial out, and that's taken all of our, we need to bring back.
You got 10 seconds.
So we really need to watch what we're doing. If you go to $15, Your hamburger is gonna cost you at least $13 or $14.
Right.
So everything.
Mr. James.
I'm in a unique position on this. I work at UPS, I've been there for 13 and a half years, and we just recently redid our contracts with Teamsters and other parties. We went from $8 an hour to offering $10 an hour, and let me tell you, we're coming up with all kinds of gimmicks, trying to get people to come work for us. It's not, everybody here wants to talk about raising the wage. It's not necessarily the wage. Find the problem. Find the people, find the reasoning why they make X number of dollars and they spend Y. Teach them how to budget. Teach them to be responsible. We have to be responsible for ourselves and our actions. That's where we need to help out our neighbors. Teach them to be responsible. And on income inequality,
15 seconds.
I believe that the income should be based on the job description, not on the gender, not on the minority or whatever. It's the job description. Thank you.